Ah, the life of an organist in winter. Ice, floods, and a workplace so cold that in the middle of January you still need to go outside to warm up. But when you see this kind of scenery, you wouldn't have it any other way. Welcome viewers to an extremely soggy village of Britford. We're just a couple of miles from Salisbury. From here I can actually see the spire of the cathedral. I can also see the spire of St Martin's just across the modern Southampton Road development. And you can hear the sirens from there as well. This, despite being close to the town, is an extremely picturesque village, but sadly it's been hit very hard by flooding. They're still pumping water from some of the houses here. I can also see my first glimpse of St Peter's Church, a Saxon church, allegedly one of the oldest buildings in England. Time to explore. A couple of cars have spoiled my approach to this church, so I'm going to do the big reveal from this field. Luckily, there's a public footpath here. If anyone watching has lost a glove, here it is. Here we are, a haunting angle of St Peter's. I hope you're taking in the scenery, viewers. We have a churchyard to a fantastic, picturesque ancient church, surrounded almost completely by field. This is such a unique environment. You won't be able to see this, I'm afraid, but I can just see, glinting in the sun, the spire of Alderbury Church, perhaps the destination for another road trip. And let me show you the source of the flooding, located just north of this church. So I'm making my way to the riverbank. And I'm the only person in this field, not even a sheep for company. This is the Avon, which runs all the way to Christchurch. My enduring memory of Britford is that once in December, our family bought a new boat and my brother attempted to row this thing with oars that were too small. If you don't know much about rowing boats, you definitely need large enough oars. So as soon as he got in the water and it was as flooded as this, the boat just kept going down the Avon. He couldn't row back up. And he eventually jumped out in Harnham, just outside Salisbury city centre, and the boat had to be rescued from here in Britford. We are hugely grateful it didn't end up in Christchurch. But he learnt his lesson. Stupid fool. So it must be time to make my way to the church. I already recognise one of the memorials here, which has a lot of significance for me actually. It's the grave of John Wordsworth, the founder of Bishop Wordsworth School, where I went to school, with the famous motto, veritas in caritate, which means truth through caring. He wanted to found a school that could rival all the public schools. And he did a very good job. It's a grammar school, which means you have to pass an exam to get in. An exam called the 11 plus. I might actually drop my lights over the top of this. There we go. Too heavy. Looking for the lights. There they are. One of the most spectacular settings for a church that I've ever seen. And we're so close to Salisbury. I didn't have to drive very far to get here. So I say again, as I've said in previous videos, if you come to Salisbury on holiday, come here. Go to the cathedral, stand in the queues, go to the gift shop, buy yourself a coffee, although I question the quality, but definitely get yourself a flask, come to St. Peter's, Britford, sit on the bench in the sun, and just meditate. You'll probably see me. Look at this. Okay, here we are. The grave of the famous Bishop John Wordsworth. An incredibly striking memorial with that backdrop of a pastel blue winter sky. John, Bishop of Salisbury, 1885 to 1911. Born the 21st of September 1843, at rest 16th of August 1911. This is one of those quintessentially perfect church graveyards. The undulations in the ground level, presumably partly because of tree roots, but also because of the number of bodies that must be buried here. This has been a sacred space for hundreds, if not thousands of years. Have you noticed any other people on this journey so far? I haven't. Long may it continue. Making my way back in the direction of the entrance. Starting to feel chilly now. It's remarkable how quickly the sun disappears and I'm plunged into darkness. St. Peter's Church, Britford. Britford Church owes its existence to Saxon kings. It's a rare survivor the nave being evidence of its origin, possibly as a minster church in the early 9th century. The south door is Saxon. Some of the original stones internally show the rough chiselling of the mason. The parish chest, with iron binding and locks, dates from about 1450. Here's something else amazing. The Buckingham tomb, against the north wall of the chancel, has been held to be that of Henry Stafford, the second Duke of Buckingham, who was executed in 1483 in Blue Boar Row, Salisbury, on the orders of King Richard III. The roof of the chancel is late medieval, as is that of the south transept. A later plaster ceiling was removed during the 1872 restoration. Finally, the organ is situated on the north side of the chancel. It was built in 2002 by Vincent Woodstock. It has 2 manuals or keyboards and a pedal board, and includes many of the pipe ranks retained from a previous organ. So, without much further ado, let's go and investigate this instrument. So viewers, it's very cold, so the briefest of brief organ tours. The right hand side, all the stops for the great, the lowest keyboard, a huge array. And over on the left, this is the swell division. That's the upper keyboard, all the pipes in a big box. We go all the way up to mixture, which is the highest. The problem is the tuning. Let me show you what winter sounds like on a church organ. You don't want to hear that.